going over your friendly neighborhood white man.
That's right.
Esau, Idumea, Edom.
Is the devil.
Is the devil.
That's right. Con.
No, I'm just playing. Don't say that. Don't say that. I just start off.
Bear with us. The sisters will be getting together some water. So water will be coming by. All right? So with that, let's get started. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
Check. It's the book. Check. It's the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So let me go back a step. Let me give you the title. The title is Esau, the effects of dwelling amongst the devil. All right? The effects of dwelling amongst the devil. How many of y'all are 6 months and under in here, by show of hands? How many people 6 months and under? Okay, all praises. A year and under? Okay, all praises. So we're gonna go through some basics so that we can get clear understanding. All right, officer, can you read that again? John 8:32?
Yes, sir. John chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
And the truth is that we are the Israelites according to the Bible. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the children of the Most High God. And one of the things that has happened to us here in the Americas and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth is what? We have lost our identity. We do not know the power that we possess as a people. We do not know who our God is. We have completely lost our way. But here in the last days, the Most High is raising up his prophets to bring back the understanding to the people. That's why you see us out on the street corners. By show of hands, how many people have come in here off of videos? Look at that. How many were looking for something other than the Israelites? You see that? So the word is going out, all right? So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. So we're going to get into Esau, but first, who are we? Who are we? Because to understand Esau and his purpose on the earth, we got to understand who we are.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Most High God, out of all the people on the face of the earth, chose us. And what else did he do when he chose us? He gave us his word. He committed his word unto us. No other people. Let's get that. Let me get the one in Romans chapter 3. So we are the Israelites. He gave us strict guidelines on how we are supposed to live. He didn't give these laws, statutes, and commandments to all the other people. He gave them to his special people, his peculiar people.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
So when the Bible says, what advantage hath the Jew, that means that the other people are at a disadvantage. The advantage we have is that we have God's laws. But if we don't apply God's laws, we're at a disadvantage. So we're going to show you that in the scriptures. First, I want you to get, officer, in the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary, page 220, the heathen, and we're going to read it also in Nehemiah chapter 5, verse 9. Because the Most High said it, he separated us from all the other people of the earth. So what does he call the people outside of the nation of Israel? What does he call the people outside the nation of Israel? All right. Let's make sure y'all awake.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Heathen, people, nation, usually used for a non-Israelitish people.
You see that? Usually used for a non-Israelitish people. There were times that we have been called heathens. Why? Because we were following the heathen customs. Okay? Let's get that in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 5, verse 9.
Nehemiah, chapter 5 and verse 9. Also I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies?
So when we read the Bible, we read that the heathen are what? Our enemies. Okay? I know a lot of our family members, a lot of people in the Christian religion, friends, they say, you know what? We don't have no enemies. But the Bible clearly says that the heathen, the other nations, are our enemies. And we're going to deal with one of the heathen today. That's Esau. We're going to show through the scriptures that everything he sets up is for our destruction. All right? So let's get Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them.
So the reason I wanted to go to here, the first Adam was made of what? The dust of the earth, right? A brown-skinned man, correct? We understand that? So the Most High said he was going to be made after his image. What's the image of the Most High? The image of eternity. He also gave Adam dominion, meaning rulership. Adam was a god on the earth. Do you understand that? Adam taught all the nations. We're going to see that there were other nations. We're going to clear up that it wasn't just Adam and Eve on the earth. Let's go to chapter 5, verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 5 and verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam.
So it says, male and female created he them. That's the other nations. Okay? So I want y'all to understand that, because we have to have this basic understanding before we truly understand who Esau is, the spirit of Esau, and why Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Before you go on, officer. Now, before it was nations in here, before the flood, it was three classifications of people on the earth. Because now you got a multitude of nations now. It was three classifications. What was those three classifications of people on the earth? So let's see. Brother right there. Okay. Head your hand up. Stand up. You all got purple. You all look the same.
Brother
Gerard. Yeah, what was the three classifications of people on the earth? We got the mic, the floater mic turned up.
Shalom, leadership.
Hey, shalom.
It was the Son of Man, the sons of God, and the sons of the wicked.
Okay, where we find that at? Where will we find that at? Because people need to know. We can say it, but if we can't prove it, then it leaves doubt in people that are 6 months and under, a year and under. Y'all seen it after Passover. The Most High shook the tree of all the leaven that we didn't get out ourselves. People left like flies. Where's it at? All right, we'll go to it. Genesis 6. This is where you see the two classifications, and we'll show you what a third one is. Read the Genesis 6, 1 on down.
Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God,
that's one classification, the sons of God,
saw the daughters of men,
the daughters of man. That's the other classification, the sons of men, like you said, Gerard. Go ahead.
that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
So that's where that's the first example of what you call an interracial marriage. There was the sons of God and there was the sons of man. Let's go to the sons of the wicked so we can find out what line Esau belonged to. 1 John 3. Because this is the line that Esau belongs to. He wasn't on the earth at that time, but his spirit was there. 1 John 3, and let's read verse 11 and 12.
1 John chapter 3.
No, let's start at verse 10.
Verse 10. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
So now we read about three different classifications. We read the sons of God, the sons of man, and those of that wicked one. That's Esau's spirit on the earth before he came in the flesh. He was of that wicked one. And then in Genesis 25, he came in the flesh. So that's the three different classifications of the people that was on earth in the beginning. All right, go ahead, officer.
All praises, all praises. So let's go back to Genesis 25 and start at verse 21.
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So there are 2 manner of people, and they would be separate. Okay, y'all gotta pay close attention to that. As we go on, you're gonna see why. Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
And you know, when we read that part that the one people shall be stronger than the other, usually the first thing comes to our mind is the physical part. Right. Yes, we are physically stronger than them, but we are spiritually stronger than them as well. Right. Look at all that we have gone through, all the captivities, the hell that we catch here, the oppression that we catch here, and yet in the midst of that, the Most High has waken up every one of you that are in this room today. The midst of all the lies, all the money that Esau sinks into his system to keep you destroyed, and yet you heard the truth, and it resonated in your spirit, and that's why you're sitting here today. So it's not just we are physically stronger. We're mentally stronger. Look at all the inventions that we have made in slavery. Everything that this world would not have if it wasn't for us.
And that was in the worst conditions possible.
Right.
That our mind would still be able to be opened up to see something in it, and then make an invention to make it easier for ourselves. Because a lot of our inventions are based off survival. We're people that survive, like the refrigerator and the heater and all of that. You had to find a way to comb your hair. You made a hot comb. We survived. We see the inventions that Esau has made his inventions are to put to death. We trying to live, they trying to put people to death. We stronger than them in every facet of the thing. It's just that we've been broke down, mentally and physically. But we coming back. We getting restored.
We coming back. That's right. Verse 24.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
Read.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Esau was 80 years old when she, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
So, brothers, who's 6 months and under? 6 months and under. Jerry, why was there no description of Jacob? Stand up.
Because he was the same color as everybody else.
Right, that's what we read. At the beginning, man was created of the dust of the ground. This is the first mention of a man that didn't look like everybody else. All right? So Esau came out red all over. They want us to reverence them as being the white man, but they are the red man. That's right. Okay? All right, read on. Verse 27.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
So we're seeing the description of the differences between the two manner of men, the two manner of people. We not people that go and spray deer pee on our boots and then go stand up, climb up in a tree.
Hey, you walk outside right now, you walk up and down the street, you ain't gonna see none of us out there. It's a little too hot for us to go outside right now. We're gonna wait till the sun go down. But Esau, they'll go out there. You see them out there shopping and doing everything.
Right.
You don't see us out there.
Right. Turning red as a lobster.
Right.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm not gonna show the video, but when I was preparing for the class, I saw a video where Esau had just come out of the field. They had a buck that they had killed. They were hanging him upside down. They gutting him, spilling out all the blood. Then you saw that, didn't you? And they poured the beer in the deer's behind, while one is laying underneath the deer, waiting for the beer to come out his mouth to drink it.
Hey, he was gulping that thing too, and was loving it.
That's two manner of people right there.
That's two manner of people. And just from y'all reaction, that's why I didn't want to play it.
Description is good enough.
Read on verse 28.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
I want y'all to pay close attention to verse 30, because we're going to be coming back there later on. He said, feed me of that same red pottage, that raw meat, right, for I am faint.
Hey, me and I think it was Officer Tobias in Miami, we was talking, and just, hindsight 2020, how we now know we Israel without a doubt, because now we got the Bible to back it up. But we used to think to ourselves, the stuff we used to do before we knew we was Israel, and then you read it in the Bible like, damn, that make perfect sense. All of us knew, all of us know it's Israel. When you threw something on the grill or in the oven, and you pulled it out the oven, and you seen anything red on that thing, what's the first thing? Throw that thing back on there. That ain't done. Put that thing back on there. I ain't eating that. It ain't cooked all the way through. That was in our spirit from the get-go, from way back in Genesis. We didn't eat that kind of food. But Esau, I seen some video where they say a steak is cooked perfect if it's like medium rare with the blood coming out of it. It was cutting in it, the blood was all in it. They was like, this is a perfect steak. I was like, that ain't our spirit, man. We ain't never did that as a people.
What they call steak tartare, that raw. Hey, and they sell it as a delicacy. Like the less it's cooked, the more it costs.
I remember my mom used to go in the oven. This is how she knows the chicken was cooked. It looked brown on the outside, it looked good. She'd get that fork, pull the oven thing out with the fork. She don't put no glove on. Pull it out with the fork and stick that thing in the chicken and open it up. If it's pink on the inside, no, I got about 20 more minutes. Put it back in there. That's how we are as a people. We don't eat that stuff. This is a two manner of people.
Two manner of people. Read that verse 30 again.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
He said, I am faint. I'm weak.
Hey, that lets you know too, man. Hey, we don't give a damn if we could be starving, stomach ready to touch our back. If you give us some food and ain't cooked all the way through it, I'll wait. Just give me something to drink. Give me some water, I'll wait. And some bread and something, I'll wait.
Go ahead, verse 31.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Do what?
Sell me this day thy birthright.
Sell me this day thy birthright. Go ahead.
And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
He said, this birthright ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm starving. Officer, I need you to pull up the definition of birthright. You got it? I'm gonna pull that up there. And also, I need to get that in Zondervan's page 90. If we could get the definition out of the Webster's and then the definition out of Zondervan's. Yeah, you put that up there. Captain, go read it.
Here we go. Birthright. Here we go. A birthright. A right, a privilege, or a possession to which a person is entitled by birth.
So it is a right, privilege, or possession to which a person is entitled by birth. He's saying, this thing don't mean nothing to me.
Right.
And we're going to see how big that was when he made that statement. What you got, Officer?
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Birthright. Among the Israelites, God had a special claim on the firstborn. The birthright included a double portion.
A what?
A double portion of the inheritance. Esau lost his birthright by selling it to Jacob for a mess of pottage.
All right, all praise. So the birthright is a double portion. Hey, that means that you are separated from the second child. Everybody know who the first child is. Esau said, you know what, this birthright don't mean nothing to me. I'm starving. Give me some of that red meat. Give me that mess of red meat over there. Go ahead, verse 30.
Verse 33.
33.
And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore to him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
You see that? But later on, Esau said that Jacob took it from him. Tricked me, stole it. Sidebar, I want you to look up lentils right quick, because this is part of what happened to us dwelling amongst the devil. When you hear lentils, you usually think, who eats lentils? You know what? I always grew up thinking that was something that white folks say. I never heard it called lentils.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Jewish people eat lentils. I know before I watched Jerry Seinfeld, I hear them talking about lentil soup. You know? Let's see what that means.
It says here, a widely cultivated Eurasian annual legume.
Pull it up on Wikipedia. That's where
How you say that word, yo? No, the
Leguminous. Yes.
Hey, Levi, how you say that stuff?
Leguminous.
No, they got a food with that in there.
Legume.
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 Okay, see, I went to Levi say that on the menu.
Then pull that up in Wikipedia. All right, there you go. Blow that up. All right. You see that, Officer Gadd?
I got you. The lentil is an edible pulse.
An edible what?
Pulse.
Okay.
It is a bushy annual plant of the legume family. No. Known for its lens-shaped seeds. It is about 40 centimeters tall, and the seeds grow in pods, usually with 2 seeds in each.
Okay, scroll back up. It is a pulse, right? An edible pulse. What do we read about one of our forefathers eating pulse? Where do we,
Righteous man study dance.
Zadok. Brother Zadok, where do we read about one of our forefathers eating pulse?
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom. Daniel, right? Daniel what?
I ain't got that.
Give me the book of Daniel chapter 1.
What's that, 10? I think it's 10 or 11. Verse 10 or 11.
So that'd be a little higher than
8?
yeah, I'm looking at 8,
It says in 12, I'm sorry. 12 is where it says,
Yeah.
prove my servant.
Yeah, 12.
Start,
We can start
at
at
8.
Daniel chapter 1 and verse 8. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse likened than the children which are of your sort? Then shall you make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give pulse to eat and water to drink.
So they was eating lentils. All right. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 13. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenances appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat.
So they were healthier in stature than all the others that ate of the king's meat. Look at us today in America. Going through McDonald's, Wendy's, going to the smorgasbord after church on Sundays. And then you see us. We don't look as healthy as if we kept God's commandments and eating not just righteous food, but eating it in the moderation and the ways that he taught us how to read
So
in the scriptures.
Basically, we don't eat enough vegetables.
We don't eat enough vegetables. No.
Hey,
Matter
real
of fact,
quick, real quick, yeah, that's fine. Off of what you just said, go to Jeremiah chapter 29, verse. I'm gonna show y'all a custom that we always did, and since it was one of our customs, off of what you said about the lentils, since it's one of our customs, we also had laws pertaining to that. All right, going into the foods that we eat. Because what did it say about in Ezekiel about the foods that we eat among the Gentiles? What did it say? To be defiled, right? That's what you get about what they call it, HMOs or whatever. What do they call that? GMOs, HMOs, and not a healthcare plan. My bad. But that's why you need that healthcare plan, because what you eating? See how I brought that back. Hey, here we go. I told a prophet to tell the children of Israel in the land of their captivity. Maybe 29, verse 4 and 5. Yeah.
Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 4. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have carried, who have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon.
This is metaphor. It's pathetic for now, back then and now, because it's still going on. We are still in the land of great Babylon, which is America.
That's right.
All right, the kingdom of Edom. All right, red supremacy. We're going to stop saying white. It's red supremacy.
That's right.
Keep reading, come on.
Build ye houses.
Do what? In the captivity?
Build ye
There's
houses.
nothing wrong with getting a house. And how you get a house, you're going to have to have a job to pay for the house.
Right.
Not bumming off of women. Because we don't advocate that. We don't push that in. Read on, come on.
Build ye houses and dwell in them.
And dwell in them, live in them. Be joyful. Read.
And plant gardens.
Do what?
Plant
Is
gardens.
it just plant gardens to have beautiful daisies and flowers? No, plant gardens to do what?
And eat the fruit of them.
And in your captivity, you're supposed to plant your own foods. There's nothing wrong with that. That's totally lawful.
That's right.
Captain Shem brought this out, I think, when we was in Mississippi. He saw the health of some brothers in the camp. Brothers was falling out. Oh, man. They was just standing for daggone what? A few hours. That's it. They was standing, drenched in sweat. You was there. You was in the formation. He noticed that the brothers was out of health. So he went into this thing. He was like, listen, there's nothing wrong with planting your own foods. Some of y'all have houses, right? Some of y'all may live in apartment buildings. Y'all may not have that. Me, I live in an apartment building. I'm growing my stuff on my balcony. It's growing. I got some avocados and some tomatoes and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? And then after that, what's the aftermath of that? We start eating our own vegetation. I got tomatoes. Say you got some onions, right? Okay, well, I'll trade you some tomatoes for some onions. We start slowly but surely building our own network of food and eating and stuff. You understand? So anyway, there's nothing wrong with that in captivity. We actually have to grow back to doing that. All right? That's it. That's all. That's all.
All praises to the Most High. Let's go back Genesis again, 25 and 33.
25, 33.
33, yes, sir.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore to him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
So now I want to let's go to Deuteronomy 21, 15 through 17. I want to back up what we read in the Zondervans about the birthright, okay? The firstborn.
You said verse 15, right?
Yes,
21,
15 through 17.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn, if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn by giving him a double portion.
And what?
A double portion of all that he hath. For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
This is what Esau threw away. Because he was so hungry, he threw away his right to be, he threw away a lot. I'll just put it that way. We're going to read what he threw away in the blessings. But I just wanted to show you that in the law, that the firstborn had to be recognized. All right, let's go back to Genesis 27. Let's get the blessing now. Let's get the blessing of Jacob and Esau. Let's see why Esau hates us so much to this very day. Started 27 and 28. 27.
Genesis chapter 27 and verse 27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God gave thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren.
So that means you're going to have dominion. be Lord over thy brethren. Read.
And let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
We read that in the book of Numbers. When we were coming up out of, when we were in the wilderness, and was that Balaam? Balaam tried to curse us. All right, you read that in the book of Numbers. Let's jump down to verse 38. Let's see Esau's blessing.
Verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Now hold on a second. It said Esau lifted up his voice and wept, right? Let's jump back down to verse 34.
Verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father.
You know what happened to Esau? He realized what he threw away. It came to his mind after he was full. Damn, I gave this away for a red mess of meat.
Hey, that show you how dumb Esau is at nature. Because what he say about the Gad and Reuben, that how they got the land? You sold it for what, beads and.
Right.
We not that stupid.
Right.
We not like he is. My bad. Go ahead. Excuse me.
You want to keep reading on?
Yes, sir.
Verse 35. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing.
So wait a minute. Now he's trying to say that Jacob tricked him.
36, it's 36.
Right? Read on.
Verse 36. And he said, Is not the rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
So now Esau says to his father that Jacob took away his birthright. Did Jacob take away the birthright? No, he sold the birthright, right?
So what does that say about Esau there from the beginning? He's a liar from the beginning.
You gonna pull it? Go ahead. No, you pull it. Your claim.
Go ahead. Give me Psalms. We coming right back there. 58 and 3.
That's right. Yep.
He said he took away my birthright. Esau gave that thing away because he was starving.
Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
You see that? They're a liar from birth. That's what the Bible says. See, here's the thing. When we teaching our people who we are, when we teaching our people who our enemies are, and they say this is racist and you shouldn't go by color, the Bible teaches us the character of people. We don't just have to go, you can close your eyes and deal with Esau.
Right.
You ain't got to never see what he looked like. What they say, if your lips moving, I know you lying. All right, let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis chapter 27 and verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
So Isaac told Esau, Jacob is your Lord. Jacob is going to rule over you. Go ahead.
And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Because now he knows that the blessing went to Jacob, and Jacob gonna rule over him. Esau crying about that thing. Go ahead.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
Okay, so brothers, when did that happen? That Esau broke that Esau broke the yoke of Jacob off his neck. When did he get that dominion off of him? And all the way in the back. All the way in the back. Who is that? Moses? Who is that in the back?
Brother Phineas.
Shalom, brother.
That was during the Renaissance.
Nope. Strong and wrong, though. Brother Gerard. Come on, where the other hands up? I know y'all brother reads our history.
That was when
Give me scripture.
2 Kings 8. 20.
I think that's not it.
That's right.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Is
the
it?
second or first? Second King.
Second King.
He just don't sound sure if it's
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the thing.
Yeah. Let's go there. I know it's 8. But...
Yeah, St. King 8:20.
Okay. Read that. Yep.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Down to 22.
In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. So Joram went over to Zaar and all the chariots with him. And he rose by night and smote the Edomites, which compassed him about. And the captains of the chariots and the people fled into their tents. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time.
Okay, so that was fulfilling of the blessing or the prophecy that we're reading about in Genesis. Let's go back. It says in 41 says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. But we're going to show you in the scriptures that Esau hates us to this day because of that blessing. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 12, 16 and 17.
You got the definition?
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
That thing was sealed. It don't matter how much crying Esau do. Them fake tears didn't matter.
No matter how much Gentile doctrine and all nations can be saved, none of that ain't gonna change God's mind at all. It ain't nothing that, what was the dude we talking about? Joseph Prince, Joel Osteen, Creflo, Patterson, Bishop Pat, whatever his name is, something G. Patterson, Leroy Thompson. Yeah, I know them all. I gotta know my enemy. Know my enemy's doctrine. And the taskmasters he got to push it. No matter what they say, they gonna change God's mind. So don't none of you ever bug out in here either going out and saying all nations. It ain't gonna change God's mind. You ain't doing nothing but lying to yourself.
That's right. All right, go ahead. Read that. Profane. Can you blow that up a little bit?
I got you.
You got it? Okay.
Listen. Profane, relating or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical, secular rather than religious.
Oh, wait a minute. Unless there be any fornicator or profane person, a person that does not speak the Bible, a person that's secular or carnal,
ungodly, unbelieving,
Synonyms on
godless, impious, disrespectful.
Hold on. See, this is why you gotta look up definitions. You gotta study to show yourself approved unto
That's
God.
right.
God, in His own word, is telling you Esau is godless.
Right.
I am not his God.
Right.
I don't know this dude. He's unbelieving. I don't know him. But our people are trying to squeeze Esau in the kingdom. And Miss Laura cannot come in. Say bye to Miss Laura.
I'm Miss Laura.
Hey, scroll down. Let's read that verse. Scroll down a little bit.
Verb, treat something sacred with irreverence or disrespect.
The laws.
That's Esau. That's God, period. He disrespects God every day.
Look, violate, defile.
Defile. That's what God's saying about Esau. That's who he is.
Brothers, got a question. Brothers, name one way, main way, Esau defiles God. Straight to his face. Brother, right there. Go ahead.
Right.
He defiles God. He defiled God straight to his face.
Shalom leadership.
Shalom.
One way Esau does that is by saying Christ is white.
Okay. All right. Give me more. Brother behind you.
Come on, brother. Put your thinking caps on. Come on.
Every hand should be up.
Oh, brothers.
Every
Hold
hand
on.
should
You
be
know,
up.
what's going on with my mic? Turn me up, man. Don't turn me down. Turn me up. Check. Microphone checking. My batteries go out. Hey, check. Give me a loud mic or something. All right. Hey, you know what baffles me, man? All of y'all go to work with Esau every day, and he's the damn devil 24/7. And then we ask for examples. How is he the devil? How is he?
I ain't pressing mute.
How is he the devil? And then we don't know how. What all the stuff he's been doing to us since you got off the ship? You don't know how he's the devil now? Come on, brothers. Don't be afraid to bring his stuff out. You ain't got to say your name on camera, all right?
Right. So we got change the Sabbath day. Right? Because how important is the Sabbath day to the Most High God? It's a sacred day. Very important. It says that he sanctified and blessed that day. Right now, this is the Sabbath day. Where most of our people at? Where is the so-called white man? What is he doing? He's selling to our people, right? He has businesses open on that day. He has God's holy people working on that day. And the other brother mentioned he changed the image of Christ. Straight to his face, right here, we see it with our own eyes. Christ is a black man. But he puts in his television, he puts in his books, he teaches the young children in the schools, right? Straight to his face. Even what? Changing the high holy days. Calling them what? Holidays. Holidays. Go ahead.
Hey, can I? Oh, goodness gracious.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, he said he told you God created man and a woman to be together, and he defiled God and say, no, you can sleep with the same thing God created you not to be with. That's defiling God. He said you ain't his people. That's defiling God. He said that now he's out here. He said God ain't got no kids. He said God a baby daddy now. What's going on? He only got one set of kids. That's the Israelites. That's how he defiles God. That's what makes him a godless person. Come on, y'all. Think.
Hey, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Can we read verse 14 again?
I'll read it for you.
Go ahead, Cap. Verse 14.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Follow peace with all men.
So the Most High said we got to follow peace with all men. Read on.
And holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Watch this, read.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness.
Let's talk about dealing with each other. Lest any root of bitterness talk about forgiving one another, loving one another like ourselves, not holding grudges against one another. Watch this, read.
Any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
So watch this. So the Most High is going into about us having grace with one another, forgiving one another, loving one another. That is what defiles us. Now watch this. Read that.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
What does as Esau mean? The Most High said, if you exhibit these attributes, you are just like the white man. Just like the same white man that profaned God, that told us we was niggas, that didn't want the birthright. The Most High said, when you have these attributes, you are exactly like Esau.
You are an ungodly person.
Ungodly, disrespectful, unbelieving.
Because that's the attributes of Esau. He just named them in verse 14, 15.
Right. Watch this. Also, as parents, right? If you give something, a gift to a child, something very important to a child, and that child turns around and says, and just gives it away, like it doesn't mean anything. What's the word for that? Ungrateful. That's ungrateful. So Esau, by definition, is ungrateful as well.
Hey, to make it plain for y'all, you know, well, I don't know, I'm a little older than y'all. Your grandmother be like, you a little ungrateful bee. You know what, when I was looking this up, I was looking up the synonyms. I'm gonna read one of the synonyms. If you could pull this up. Get the base. Pull that up, the base definition. Yeah, pull that up. Let's read that.
The base. Reduce something in quality or value.
That's what Esau is trying to do to us. Read.
Degrade. Synonyms. Devalue. Demean. Cheapen. Prostitute. Discredit. Goodness gracious. Blacken. Blemish. Tarnish. Lower the moral character of someone.
So when we look through that, degrade, devalue. When the cap asked, how does Esau do this? And the first brother said, well, he painted the image like himself. He's devaluing you as a person. That's why they speak so proudly about anything dark. We did a show a couple of weeks ago where the brother was saying anything dark is worthy to be killed. It doesn't have any moral character. Here, the man by nature and by definition that has no morals is telling you what morality is.
Dang. That's a heavy statement we just did. They teach us about that. Like you said, they teach us in schools. We go to history classes. We go to the universities. And they themselves have not followed now one teacher that they teach us.
Not one.
Dang.
Look what it says. Tarnish. Blacken. We've been through this before. Angel food, devil food. You know, right. This is the character of Esau. But you know what? Because he realized he sold the birthright, he's got to keep you from keeping the commandments so he can rule over you. That's why everything that we go through, everything we deal with here in America that Esau has set up is set to keep him in rulership over us. By doing what? By breaking God's commandments. I want you to get, I didn't have this, but Exodus 31. One of the things, I want to hit back what Captain Severus said about the Sabbath day. Exodus chapter 31, verse 16.
Exodus chapter 31 and verse 16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed.
You see that? It's a perpetual covenant between the Lord and us. Esau don't have nothing to do with that. So what Esau do? He set up everything for the Sabbath. How many of us played sports when we was little? When do we play? On the Sabbath. When is the best sales? On the Sabbath. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 23. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 23. Because Esau has the spirit of the devil. All right, he's the devil's seed. Read what you got.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death unto the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it.
So the Bible says through envy of the devil, death came into the world. Let's see how that came. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 3.
Hey, I want to say something just a little bit on that too, because it says through envy of the devil. It's not speaking of some daggone hocus pocus magical spirit. It's physically saying the spirit of Satan that is in Edom today was in the beginning and had envy against his brother Abel and killed the man. The spirit that was in Adam and Eve to commit fornications against God, that's a spirit that Esau dwells in. Disorder, ungodliness, profaneness. That's his spirit. Rebellion. And that's the vibration that you see every day amongst our nation. That's his spirit. That's why there is a fight against the children of God and or God and the angels and Satan and the demons. It's us against them. But they put some hocus pocus Greek mythology on it, and we think it's somebody up there and down here. No, it's actually we living amongst it every day.
What verse you on, officer?
1.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yeah, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
So hold on. So who did the serpent go to? The woman. Who comes at us when we out on the streets? The woman. The woman right now is being used as an agent for the so-called white man, the red man, Esau. The spirit of Satan today, he is still using the woman. This is why, sisters, y'all got to study too. You can't just be in here because your Lord is in here and you think he gonna pull you into the kingdom with him. You got to study to show yourself approved also. You got to fight off the wiles of the devil, the tricks of the devil. Read on.
Verse 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God
you see what he said? I know what the word of God says. Yep. We see that today. We see that spirit today. Yeah, I know what the Bible says, but I got Jesus in my heart. I want to hear what you got to say. I don't want to hear what the Bible says. I want to hear what you got to say. What does Christ mean to you?
Right. Who is Jesus?
Who is Jesus? Read it again,
verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, that your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
So, the sister, you know, like Esau pushes 50-50. There ain't no such thing as 50-50. You can watch any National Geographic and see if there's 50-50. See if one hungry animal that's chasing another one that's trying to get away, they have a standoff. And then amicably walk their different ways. Nah, that's why you got prey and predators. That's right. There's no such thing as 50-50. So the woman didn't want to be as God, she wanted to be the guy. She wanted to rule the house. Thus today, when we teach about a woman wearing pants, and we use the example, what does it mean I wear the pants in the house? I'm ruling. Not, well, we both wearing pants, so we 50-50. I ain't never heard nobody say that.
Not at all.
Matter of fact, remember we was in Clewiston?
Yeah. Yeah, what she say? Oh, the brother.
She said he. What she say? She said.
She said I would have. She said he would have pants, but I control the zipper. Something like that. She said, right? Something like that. I forget. He would have pants, but I control the zipper. Something like that.
The brother had no testicular. What did it say?
Testicular
fortitude.
Yeah, man, I speak Hebrew. I'm just playing. I don't know how to speak English.
Testicular fortitude.
No, yeah, man. Dang.
And she had a shirt on. Remember what her shirt said? I'm always in charge.
Hey, officer, like you just said, the National Geographic, every animal pride, every animal group has a head, and the head is always a male. From dogs to cats, from lions, hell, even baboons, even gorillas. You don't see no female silverbacks. You don't see no female silverbacks running the group. The silverbacks is the man.
You don't see her Yelling and screaming at the man by home, telling him to go sit your butt down in the corner. All right, read on verse 6.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So now Satan's got his desired effect. He went through the woman to get the man to sin, to separate him from his God. That's the same thing that's happened today while we dwell here in Babylon. So now let's get up to speed. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 9. Let's bring it up to speed to today and see what's happening today as we dwell amongst these devils.
It's the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king.
Okay, so it says evils were multiplied in the earth. Let's see how those evils began to be multiplied. Let's jump down to verse 41. Let's get into what is known as Hellenization. That was one of the evils that began to be multiplied in the earth.
1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
What do we call that today? Democracy, or being patriotic. You know, who remembers, who was grown and can remember 9/11? You know what? Esau was cool with black people for about 2-3 days after 9/11.
You're right, because we was all one people in his eyes at that time. You're exactly right. As soon as that wore off,
Just got back normal. Yeah.
Read on.
Verse 42. And every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they shall follow the strange laws of the land.
you see now going back to the origins of who we dealing with, now you see why Esau always trying to get you to work on the Sabbath days. Right. From the get-go, they've been, what did that word say? Profaning the Sabbath. They've never seen God's holy day as holy. It's always been ungodly to them. That's why they don't care about it. They want you to work overtime, and when they try to give you a promotion, they always lay that out there in front of you. Well, you know, we're going to need you here on Saturdays. But we'll give you more money. We'll increase the pay. But we're going to need you here on the weekends.
Hey, that's why I explained in the beginning the nature of each nation and man. Because what did the Bible say about Jacob? He's a smooth man, right? What did it say about Ishmael? He's a wild man. You see that today. Now I'm going to just show y'all the nature of Edom today, because we read it before. He's red. He eats red meat. Well, goodness gracious. It's linking up to today. Go to Genesis 27, verse 42. The nature of the man tell you who he is. That's why that was a good example. You don't have to look at the white man to know exactly who he is, or you know, the analogy you just gave. Check this out.
Genesis chapter 27 and verse 42.
Because he profaned the Sabbath. So what is his agenda against Jacob? What was it from the beginning? Read that. Come on.
And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau.
The mother was warning the son, your brother Esau, what? Come on.
As touching thee.
Because you got the blessing now, and I know it because God wanted you to have it. Read.
Doeth comfort himself.
Esau comfort himself to make you break the Sabbath day. He comforts himself in your death. He comforts himself in demonizing you in America. We were talking to a young man today. Why you think you listening to that music, young brother? Why you think you smoking the marijuana? The Black and Miles, yeah. Why you think they put the guns right in your community and then they make themselves look like the angels or the heroes? Because they comfort themselves, how?
Purposing to kill thee.
Their purpose on earth is to make sure your life is a living hell. That's it. So his nature don't change because the original Edomite, their father, their patriarch, that's their nature. Go back to it.
That's a good.
That was a good one, man.
Segue into that.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 45. I'll read verse 44 again. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols.
Hold on, officer. Read that verse 46 again.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
And pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. So Antiochus didn't know who the holy people was? You think today they don't know who the holy people are?
That's why they do it. Right.
That's why they aim these laws at us. Hold that. We're coming right back. Get Psalm 64, verse 5 and 6. How do they pollute the holy people? They have think tanks.
Psalms chapter 64 and verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
I'm going to show you how they encourage themselves in the evil matter. When they realize, I'll give you one example. When they realize the first set of Jordans came out was hot. They said, oh, we got to keep making these things. We got some here. These Negroes will go broke. They will kill each other. They will steal from each other, all over some gym shoes we made for $5.
Hey, officer. And speaking of that, what day do they release the Jordans on?
Oh, there it is.
The Sabbath morning.
Always on the Sabbath. Always on the Sabbath. Read that verse 46 again.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves.
Wait a minute. I got another one. How else do they pollute the holy people? Go to First Ezra 8. How else do they pollute the holy people? Because you know, when we teach about interracial marriage, you always got folks coming up screaming, y'all racist! But let's see what the Bible says. Which one do I want? 69?
69,
yeah. 69 and 70, there you go.
First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites.
It's just one example of the pollutions, like Captain Severus brought up. They changed holy days into holidays. They get us celebrating Easter and not Passover. Christmas, not Feast of Dedication. They get us 4th of July. What the hell are we celebrating the 4th of July for?
Right.
They have polluted us with their holidays. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 70. For both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity.
Okay, so now, go back to Psalms 64 and 5 only.
Psalms chapter 64 and verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter.
You know what? Soon as we give that Negro that $10 million contract, you got to
Get
send
on.
Becky and Amy and
Or he'll get on and leave your ass for a white girl. That's exactly what'll happen. They know that.
go ahead. Let's go back to First Maccabees.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Y'all said that right?
Yep.
Profanation. To the end they might forget the law.
To the end what?
That they might forget the law.
Isaiah 1 and 3. We don't even know who we are, so how we going to know what laws to keep? Read on.
And change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said, he should die.
So that's what was happening then. But then over a process of time, we just adopted these ways.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates on all our YouTube channels. Shalom.